Home Depot. So you have a lot of people, a lot of cars, a lot of activity, especially at this time of the night. Again, as Mike was mentioning, per Twitter feed, I should say. Hey, George, we pan back over here real quick. Before I repeat that information again, Thornton police kind of checking folks coming in and out of this area. Again, the original tweet, I should say, again, per Thornton PD, mentioning multiple parties down. But this is the scene what we're seeing here. You have a lot of folks, as I mentioned, either inside or outside this shopping center. This individual either coming in or going out now being asked by a member of law enforcement to basically show what he has inside the back of this trailer. But of course, when you talk about multiple parties down, you saw the video that was sent to Channel 2 from a viewer of the scene of the inside of the Walmart shortly after this shooting went down. That individual who sent me that video tells me he was actually trying to help people get out of the Walmart, and I'm not sure if we played the tail end of the audio, but you can hear someone asking him who he is, the guy who sent us the video, and he's explaining he's simply trying to help people out. Again, this Walmart at 100 and Grant, where we're located just east of I-25. As Michael Konopasek was mentioning, we also saw a number, I should say two, ambulance heading southbound.
And now my younger son and my ex-husband were in there. And the last I heard from my son was that there was a shooter in there, and the guy shooted off one bullet. After that, the other 11 bullets went off shooting at people. And now the recent phone calls that I just got stating that they are executing people out of Walmart, but I still haven't heard anything on my son or my ex-husband.
What do you know about the shooter? Has the shooter been caught?
They haven't found him.
They haven't found the shooter.
No.
You're hearing. And so your son's okay, your ex-husband's okay as far as you know?
We haven't heard anything.
Go ahead, take that.
Hello? Hello? I'm here.
I'm going to come off of that woman right now. She seemed to be pretty emotional. So there, she says that was her sister calling, saying that they were trying to. So the woman we just talked to, that was my colleague, Michael Konopasek, talking to a woman who said that some of her relatives were inside the mall and that she was still looking for them. They had not been found.
No, oiga, va a hablar a un montón de sus empleados. Vénganse que va a estar buena la, pero ¿qué? Mira que viene con esto, está bien.
If you look down towards the bottom, you can actually see people walking out. It's like families being escorted right down to the bottom. I don't know how clearly you can see. It looks like a woman and children next to an officer with a rifle, and I don't know where they came from, but down towards the center of your screen, and I know it's dark, it's hard to see, but I would have to think that perhaps they were coming from the scene, from the Walmart itself. Sarah, you asked the questions. For those of you who are just joining in, Sarah, there is a scene at the Walmart in Thornton, Colorado, where the Thornton Police Department is reporting that multiple parties are down. We don't know exactly what's happening, but that several people have been injured. Ambulances are on standby, and there are just police cars here from all over, as well as fire trucks and ambulances, and also a medical helicopter landing zone has been established. This Walmart is in Thornton, Colorado. Thornton is north of Denver on I-25, and this is a suburb of Denver, Colorado. This is a relatively, it is a newer area, and this shooting happened after 6 o'clock tonight. I think maybe closer to, well, I'm not exactly sure what time, but after 6 p.m. And the reports that came out from the police department were that multiple parties were down. And this is what it looks like from a hill right above. Above the perch above the actual Walmart itself.
You see the people that are coming out? So they take it. Y si allá adentro y ahí los van a llevar, ¿sí? ¿Viste? Los que venían caminando con el rifle se subieron al carro. Mira, ya se lo van a llevar en la casa. Mira, ya se lo van a llevar.
Come around this way. As you can see, there are a number of people. I'm going to try to get another vantage point.
Show. You can see people actually lined up along the fence, just kind of watching over the scene right now as it develops. There are tons and tons of police cars down there, so we're just trying to wait it out and see what's going on. But I have talked to a few folks who were inside that store when the gunfire started. They described it as sounding like an automatic weapon. The one woman that I talked to says that it seemed like the gunfire went on forever. She couldn't give me a time frame of exactly how long, but she said it felt like it was going on forever. Now, she was able to make it out with her young son. She told me she did not see the shooter, but her brother is still inside the Walmart right now, texting her. He said that he is held up inside the Christmas department right now. He's hiding inside inside a Rubbermaid Christmas box. If that doesn't give you chills, I don't know what does. Now, no one has been injured up here that we've talked to, and we haven't really seen too much movement. We've heard from a few people who are inside the store that ambulances and first responders weren't quite able to go in right away because of that active shooter who was reportedly in there. We don't know at this point if that person is still in there or not. Those are all details that we're still waiting to hear about. Now, we also interviewed another young woman who said that she used to work at this Walmart, and so her cousin called her because he was driving by and actually picked up people who hopped over the fence at I-25 because they were trying to escape from this shooting scene. That also definitely is not something to take lightly, and we will keep giving you updates as we get them. Mike, Deb.
That is just chilling information, Ashley. I wonder if any of those people that you spoke to are still on the scene there, or if you can talk to some of the witnesses that you have right there with you right now.
You know, some of them, the first lady that I talked to who has that brother who's still inside the store, she's not comfortable being on live television just because of her job.
This is that big shopping plaza that is right along I-25 northbound in Thornton. 6:28 tonight, Thornton police got the word out that there were shots fired, multiple parties down, and they asked people to stay clear of that area, stay clear of an area that already had a ton of people there on any evening.
It's terrifying to think what everyone has gone through in that store, the people that were shopping, the employees, and everyone that's in that area. We know that a lot of people are trying to connect with someone and figure out where they are. As we mentioned before, oftentimes you're not in a grocery store alone. We can only hope and pray that families were able to get their kids out, but like Jessica said, she couldn't get to her car. I mean, she just ran to a hill, an open area, and now they're having a hard time connecting people together.
This is video from Aaron Stevens, who is the first eyewitness that you heard here on our air. Aaron described being up at the checkout on a fairly busy night there at the Thornton Walmart when he heard what sounded like a firecracker. And he went on to say that he considers himself somewhat familiar with guns. His first thought was firecracker, quickly realized it was a gun. He described hearing a shot, a pause of several seconds, several more shots, another pause, and then a few more shots after that. He did not see anyone who appeared to be injured. Again, Thornton police are saying multiple people down, but Aaron Stevens, the eyewitness who was up at the cash register, said that he did not see those people, nor did he see anyone getting medical treatment there at the scene. He did describe, and I believe this is what we're seeing right there in his video, police gathered around somebody on the ground. Aaron seemed to think that that was somebody being taken into custody, but we appreciate his transparency, and we hope to relay that to you. He does not know. Right. He just knows what he saw, and he saw police gathered around somebody on the ground and appeared to be taking that person into custody. Thornton police literally have said about a dozen words on this. Job one for them is securing the scene and making sure that people are safe, and then they will be communicating with all of us and all of you. Again, the only thing that they are saying for absolute certain at this point was that there was a shooting at the Thornton Walmart, at the Thornton Town Center, multiple people down, and they implored people to stay out of that area.
And that tweet was sent out 55 minutes ago, so it's been almost an hour. We've been in contact, of course, with hospitals in that area. We haven't had any confirmation of whether anybody's been taken to North Suburban or one of the hospitals that's close by. Important to point out, Thornton Police Department is just around the corner. So there was a quick response, and Aaron mentioned that, and others have mentioned that as well. Kevin talked about the proximity of the police department to the Super Walmart. So as soon as this call came in, we know there was a police presence there.
We understand that it's natural that people's minds jump to conclusions when we see or hear news like this. Everybody's so sensitized to it at this point, and just want to make clear what we know is what we're telling you. And we're not passing along every wild theory that somebody wants to posit. This could be anything at this point. We just don't know. And if it holds that the simplest explanation is true, somebody fired off some shots inside a Walmart. We're still waiting to hear what exactly police mean by multiple parties down. They did not say multiple parties shot. That may well be the case. We just don't know. We want to caution you so that you don't feel like you got bad information or passed bad information to somebody else. We're just trying to relay exactly what we know and then relying on these eyewitnesses to tell us precisely what they say that they saw and heard inside.
We should point out the video we're using is from Aaron Stevens and also from someone on Twitter. Was it Will?
Yes, that was William Crail on Twitter.
William.
He was over and across the way looking down on the scene out a window.
And part of the reason is that we have multiple crews there. They can't get close enough to give us our own live images and video at this point. We have maps that can tell you where the location is, and that's why Kevin Vaughn has talked about how Grant Street is shut down, but the police perimeter at this point is so large, it's very difficult to bring you live pictures other than those images that have been shared with us via social media. And Kevin, we'll get back to you and have you explain that a little bit more. I know you mentioned I-25 is still open, but Grant is closed, and there's a lot of parking lots, a lot of stores and places around there where people are just not going to have access. We may have lost Kevin. Kevin Vaughn is up there, Steve Stager's up there. We have multiple crews there, Katie Eastman and many people, but we can't get some of those images right now.
As is often the case after an incident like this, you will see aerial pictures from 9 News and from the other stations in town through our shared helicopter resource. You're not seeing those tonight because of the weather conditions.
Too windy.
Yeah, too windy. It's not safe for the helicopter to fly, so that is the reason why you're not seeing aerials. There's always 2 questions with that. One is the weather, and then 2 is whether law enforcement believes that it would put their tactical folks at risk if we were showing live pictures. Have heard nothing of the sort from Thornton Police. So if you want to divine anything from that, that is an encouraging sign, because most typically when we're dealing with an active situation, an active shooter, there will be a very clear warning that goes out from law enforcement to those of us in the media saying, please do not show positions. This is active. Please be judicious with live video. We have received no such warning from Thornton Police.
Especially if they're negotiating with someone or they feel like somebody might be holding someone hostage, they will ask us to back off and step away, but that hasn't been the case. And you see some of those images of the parking lot. A lot of people are still, without question, nowhere close to their car. They're not even able to find their car at this point. And we heard from Jessica that she grabbed her 9-year-old and just ran out the store. A lot of people are just running to a location and then hoping eventually they can get somewhere close to their car and others.
So at this point, what we are doing is talking to eyewitnesses there on the scene. Our crews are out there trying to make sure, one, that we can verify that those people actually were there and didn't just walk up on the scene and decide that they want to be TV famous.
Right.
And then ascertaining whether they actually have firsthand information about this or whether they just saw the commotion. This is a big shopping plaza, the Thornton Town Center, a lot of big box stores. I think it's possible that one might even be in this store and not have a full understanding of what was transpiring elsewhere. Aaron Stevens, who took this video and was up front at the checkout, said that he could very clearly hear the gunshots. They were inside the store and not outside. And that lines up with some other witness accounts that we have seen on social media, people that we have not been able to speak to and ascertain the veracity of their claims. But again, Thornton Police at any point now might be giving us some updated information. We're in wait-and-see mode from them. Kevin Vaughn from our 9 Wants to Know team is there on the scene. He's on the north end of that parking lot. And Kevin, in the 10 minutes since we last talked, any movement in that parking lot by either civilian witnesses or law enforcement?
There are some people that have arrived and have been escorted over across the street to a spot we can't get to, and are talking to some officers over there. I can't really tell. I can't really tell what they're talking about. It doesn't seem to be something that's got a great deal of urgency to it, but there were a couple people that showed up here at the roadblock and were escorted across to talk to officers inside the perimeter, and they're over there talking to them now. I'm right at 98th and Grant, which is sort of the south end of the Walmart complex, east side of the store. The main entrance faces east, and
Hang on one
sorry, we're being moved by the police officers here.
second.
It sounds like what Kevin's being told there is that a public information officer, so a member of Thornton Police Department whose job is to brief the media and the public on these situations, is setting up about a block away. We're in a situation here where we have enough crews.
And I'm not sure if they're still in there, but yeah.
Did you hear any of the gunshots or any of the sirens when they started pulling up?
No, I just saw a bunch of police coming out.
We can see it from our window, from our banquet room. We can see all the cars, and we saw all the commotion going on about an hour ago.
Yeah, it was like
about an hour ago. About an hour. I told my manager because I seen them coming down. I seen lots of cops coming down, and I came to the banquet room, and I was like, "There's a lot of cops at Walmart." And then we came out, and this lady came in running. She's like, "Can I get some water, please? I just saw two people get shot in front of me."
Oh, what did you think when you heard your customer say that?
I was freaked out. That's traumatizing. That is very traumatizing. You want to go home. Yep. People have kids. You want to go to your kids. You know, it's scary.
I've heard some of the shops are closing. Is that something that you guys are talking about this evening right now too?
We're trying to close it. He's having us just watch.
He's having us watch everybody that comes in just to monitor